Amazing day to all. This is Teacher Dan Rogayan and welcome to another episode of our Let Review session. So magsisimula na naman tayong maghanda para sa inyong upcoming board exam, especially those who will be taking the LET come March 2020. So our focus in this episode will be Gen Ed, General Education, focusing on social sciences. So samahan ninyo akong muli sa isa na namang makabulahang review at I hope that you have your paper and pen with you para samahan ninyo ako at sabayan ninyo ako sa pagsasagot ng mga tanong na nasa ating slide. So let me first share the slide. Okay. So bago tayo mag-review, I'll be mentioning what will be the focus, no? What specific focus will be the coverage of our review in this episode. So this will be the part 6 for Gen Ed. If you have missed yung ating part 1 to part 5, you can go back sa ating playlist dito sa ating YouTube channel para mabalikan ninyo. These part 1 to part 5 are still relevant even though these were recorded um, pre the issuance no of the March 2023 enhanced table of a specification. So the new feature of our review is that I will be mentioning the coverage or the focus no of our review rationalization every time, every episode. So of course, kailangan guided tayo sa ating goal and kailangan i-manifest ninyo that you will be able to pass the board exam. All right? So the coverage actually of our review, no, in this episode, are the following, no. So the focus will be the B.1 of the enhanced table of specification for subjects of licensure examination for professional teachers. So specifically, the personal and civic responsibilities. All right. So let me have the placer. So this will be focusing on readings in Philippine history and society. 1.1, demonstrate understanding of the significant periods in Philippine history. And 1.2 is to relate the significant periods of Philippine history with the transformation of society. This is, of course, based on the PRC Board for Professional Teachers Resolution number 11 series of 2020. All right? And then, kasama din sa coverage na ating sasagutan ngayon is C.1, practical skills development, the contemporary world, specifically on illustrating ways of relating global issues and concerns with local and global realities, no, and identify ways by which the Philippines may participate in efforts to mitigate global problems. Lastly, will be C.2 on art appreciation. So there are questions also under art appreciation on demonstrating the ability to interpret artistic creations as expressions of the finer things in life and manifest informed appreciation of various forms of art. So every time na magre-review tayo, I'll be mentioning the focus. So there will be three foci or focuses of our review. So the readings in Philippine history, contemporary world, and art appreciation. Okay, so let's start. First question. Famous sculptor of landmark structures such as the People Power Monument in 1993 and the Andres Bonifacio Shrine in 1990. Is it A. Graciano Nepomuceno, B. Eduardo Castrillo, C. Napoleon Abueva, or letter D. Guillermo Tolentino? So what is the answer? Who is this famous sculptor? Of course, that is Eduardo Castrillo. So basically, Eduardo Castrillo was able no to design no, the People Power Monument and the Andres Bonifacio Shrine. Okay, so as I mentioned, no, Nepomuceno is a Filipino sculptor and wood carver known for Santa figures and genre sculptures. While Eduardo Casilio, of course, the sculptor of the landmark structures that we earlier cited. Napoleon Abueva, however, is a national artist for sculpture, conferred as a national artist in 1976, and considered as a father of modern Philippine sculpture, I mean. Then Guillermo Tolentino naman is a national artist for sculpture in 1973, who sculpted the Bonifacio Monument, okay? Again, Castrillo Bonifacio Shrine, while Guillermo Tolentino's Bonifacio Monument, and of course, the very famous UP Oblation. All right, so these are some of the great artists that we have in the country. Okay. So another question, next question. What is Republic Act number 11469? Okay, this is under contemporary world. A. Bayanihan to heal as one act. B. Bayanihan to recover as one act. C. Bayanihan ng Bayan Act. Or letter D. Bayanihan as one act. What is 11469? So the question is asking us for the complete title of the law. Okay, because when you say Republic Act, pertains to Philippine law. Then the answer that here is, of course, yes, Bayanihan to Heal as One Act. So, Bayanihan to Heal as One Act is Republic Act 11469. So, the long title is an act declaring the existence of a national emergency arising from the coronavirus disease 2019 or the COVID-19 situation in a national policy and connection therewith, and authorizing the President of the Republic of the Philippines for a limited period and subject to restrictions to exercise powers necessary and proper to carry out the declared national policy and for other purposes. But of course, the short title is Bayanihan to Heal as One Act. Okay? So that is RA 11469. Okay? Ayan. Okay, next question. Who is the proponent of the arena theater? Okay, this is under art appreciation. A. Rustica Carpio, B. Rolando Estinio, C. Severino Montano, D. Lamberto V. Avellana. So who do you think is the proponent of the arena theater? A. The arena theater, of course, was proposed by, yes, Severino Montano. So Severino Montano is actually instrumental in the arena theater, okay, in founding the arena theater. Rustica Carpio is a Filipino actress, scholar, playwright, philanthropist, and public servant. While Tino, of course, a Philippine national artist for theater and literature. Montano, we mentioned that already, while Avellana or Lamberto V. Avellana is the first national artist of the Philippines for film. Okay, so for film, the first national artist is Lamberto V. Avellana. Okay, so next question. Who is the proponent of the Sala Theater in the Philippines? A. Severino Montano, B. Nate Kramer Rogers, C. Wilfredo Maria Guerrero, D. Vicente Manansala. All right. So kanina in the previous question, we asked about the arena theater. Now the questions here focuses on sala theater. Pag sala theater naman, siya si Nate Kramer Rogers. So Nate Kramer Rogers, sala theater. Severino Montano, arena theater. All right. So basically, this is something to do with the development of theater in the Philippines. So Montano, you know that already. He's also conferred as a national artist for theater, not the Kramer Rogers first, a proponent for sala theater. Wilfredo Maria Guerrero is the first Filipino to have a theater named after him within his lifetime. This is known as the Wilfredo Maria Guerrero Theater of the University of the Philippines. While Vicente Manansala is a Filipino cubist painter and illustrator and best known in his paintings on the best of the barrio and the city together, the urban and the rural together. So that is Vicente Manansal. Okay. All right. Next question. Philippine history. Who was the first editor of La Solidaridad and an orator of the Reform Movement? A. Graciano Lopez Haina. B. Maximo Viola. C. Valentin Ventura. Or letter D. Marcelo del Pilar. Okay, of course, first editor, very familiar question. This is a very common question in the licensure exam. Of course, that is Graciano Lopez Haina. All right, so Graciano Lopez Haina served as the first ever editor-in-chief of La Solidaridad or the SOL. SOL is the shortened name for La Solidaridad. Okay, so Gracian Lopez, of course, the first editor, as I mentioned, he is also known for his pen name Diego Lara. Diego Laura. Okay. Then, of course, Maximo Viola is the Santa Claus of Nolimitangere because he was able to help Rizal, he financed actually the publishing of the Noli Me Tangere, so Maximo Viola. Valentin Ventura naman is the Santa Claus for El Filibusterismo. He was able to finance also the second novel of Rizal. Okay? While Marcelo del Pilar is the second editor of La Solidaridad. Okay, Gersano Lopez Haina, first editor, second editor, Marcelo H. del Pilar, who is also known as Plaridel. Okay? Next question. The right invoked by filing the writ of amparo is blank. A. Right to due process. B. Right to self-defense. C. Right to be defended by a public attorney. Or letter D. Right to life, liberty, and security. This is also a very common question in the board exam. So what is the answer? Future top-notchers. Of course, that is, yes, that is letter D. Right to life, liberty, and security. So, life, liberty, and security. LLS, no? Life, liberty, and security, read of amparo. Okay? So, of course, yan. Pagkita natin yung rito of amparo, no? So, that's, once na-invoke, no? Or na-violate yung inyong right to life, liberty, and security. Writ of habeas corpus naman is to produce the body or to bring the body, especially in court, para makita if the detention is legal or not. Writ of habeas data is to protect naman the image and privacy of a certain individual. Okay? So these are some of the writs, no? That we have. Okay. So next question, was the first man to circumnavigate the world? A. Juan Sebastian Elcano. B. Roy Lopez de Villalobos. C. Enrique of Malacca. Or letter D. Ferdinand Magellan. So the question is asking the first man to circumnavigate the world. And your answer is okay, what's the answer? What's the correct answer? Siyempre, that is Juan Sebastian Elcano. He is considered as the first man to circumnavigate, no? The world. Kaya siya tinaguri ang ano na yun? Primus circumdedistimi, no? The first man who circumnavigated the world. Okay? So, yan, nabanggit na natin si Elcano. Roy Lopez de Villalobos naman gave no the name Las Islas Filipinas to the Philippines to honor Philip II of Spain, si King Felipe II ng Spanya. So tinawag niya ang ating bansa na Las Islas Filipinas. So that is Roy Lopez de Villalobos. Sino naman si Enrique of Malacca? He could be no the first person to circumnavigate the globe, but no record no or no evidences were found. So, kaya ina-attribute natin kay Juan Sebastian Elcano ang una nung taong nakaikot no sa buong mundo. Well, Ferdinand Magellan is he was able to command no the lead ship Trinidad, yun yung tawag dito, yun yung sinakyan niya. Ito yung barko na kung saan may command siya, no? And they were able to sail, no, in 1519, no, from Spain. Okay, syempre yung Trinidad may kasama pa yung apat na barko. So alamin natin yung mga pangalan ng barko. So ito yon, no. So merong 5 ships, no, in the Magellan expedition, of course Trinidad na kinomand ni Magellan. So usually pag tinanong sa board exam, ano yung pangalan ng barko kung saan ah, may command si Ferdinand Magellan, of course that is Trinidad. Okay? Kasama no sa barkong Trinidad ang barkong San Antonio, barkong Concepcion, barkong Victoria at ang barkong Santiago. So basically there are 5 ships no in the Magellan expedition. Okay? Next, the Spaniards established a centralized government in the Philippines, and the head of the government was called blank. A. Encomendero, B. Alcalde Mayor, C. Gobernadorcillo, or letter D. Governor General. So, or what do you call the head of the government during the Spanish era? Of course, we call them yes, the Governor General. So the Governor General o Gobernador General ang pinaka-pinuno ng gobyerno nung panahon ng Spaniards sa panahon ng Kastila. And encomendero, pag sinabi nating encomendero, no, the right to compel the indigenous people to work their land and to pay tribute. So basically, may karapatan, no, yung mga enkomendero na nasa enkomenda, no, na i-compel, no, na pagtrabahuhan ng mga indigenous people at magbayad sila ng mga tributong tinatawag. Alcalde Mayor naman manage the day-to-day operations of the provincial government. So, ang alcalde mayor noon, yun yung mga parang governor natin ngayon. So, alcalde mayor, these serve, no? Or these are the governors of the day. Gobernadorcillo naman are leaders of a town or pueblo. So basically, yung gobernadorcillo noon, ang katumbas na ngayon ay yung ating mga municipal mayors na nasa executive branch, no? Sa local government. While Governor General, of course, is the head of the government. Sila yung pinakamataas na namunod during the Spanish regime. Okay? To give you some of the governor generals in the Philippines, we have here four. No, I have highlighted here four. No, first is Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, the first governor general in the Philippines. So lagi ring tinatanong to sa board exam. Pag tinanong sino yung kauna-unahan or unang gobernador general sa Pilipinas, that is Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. Pag ang tanong naman, sino ang kahuli-hulihang governor general in the Philippines? Of course, that is Diego de los Rios. Okay? Ngayon, naitatanong din, sino yung pinaka-beloved, no? The most beloved Governor General among Filipinos, that is Carlos Maria de la Torre. Ina Baserada. Okay? Or Carlos Maria de la Torre. Okay? So, dahil he was able to release, no, yung mga political prisoners during his time as a Governor General, and he was able to endorse yung mga complaints against friars. Kaya mahal na mahal siya ng mga Pilipino. Well, of course, napaka-famous hindi lamang sa mga Pilipino noon, kundi famous din to sa board exam, si Narciso Claveria, Izalduar, Narciso Claveria, no? Simply Narciso Claveria. Laging tanong ito, sinong Governor General ang nagpakalat, no, ng Katalogo Alfabetico de Apelyidos na pamimilian ng mga Pilipino ng mga Spanish surnames. Yan po si Narciso Claveria. So pag tinanong sa board exam, the author o sumulat ng Katalogo Alfabetico de Apelyidos, Narciso Claveria. O kapag ang tanong ang gobernador general na nagpakalat ng mga apelyidong Espanyol, that is Narciso Claveria. So these are some, no, napakarami ng Governor General sa Pilipinas, but these are the most common na mga kailangan nating malaman at most common na tinatanong din sa inyong board exam. Okay? So next question, she's a Filipino prima ballerina. In 1984, she became the first foreign soloist to ever join the Keruv Ballet. A. Lea Salonga, B. Nora Honor, C. Lisa Macuja Elizalde, or letter D. Lydia De Vega. So, pag narinig or nakita nyo agad, prima ballerina, of course, wala kayong ano doon, no? Mabilis ninyong masasagutan. Siyempre, that is the Lisa Macuja Elizalde. So, Lisa Macuja Elizalde is a really famous, no, ballerina, prima ballerina. Okay? Lea Salonga, on the other hand, is a stage actress who brought fame, no, to the Philippines through her international awards for her stage performances. Nora Honor is a national artist for film and broadcast arts, which was who was conferred, no, in 2022 by no less than President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. She is also known as the superstar and with the moniker Atigay. Okay? Of course, you know Lisa Macuja Elizalde, the prima ballerina, while Lida De Vega is a Filipina athlete. She is actually known as the Asia Sprint Queen of the 1980s, where she won multiple gold medals in the Asian Games and SEA Games for a decade. So that is Lydia De Vega. All right? So next question, what was the name of forced labor imposed during the Spanish regime? A. Falia, B. Bandala, C. Servicio Manual, or letter D. Polo y Servicio. O, the Polo y Servicio. Okay? So anong sagot? What is the answer? Of course, no, pag forced labor, napaka-ano to, no, napaka-common na tinatanong din sa board exam. That is polo e-serbisyo. Okay, basta nakita nyo polo e-serbisyo, kung walang e-serbisyo, polo lang, yun na yun, forced labor. Okay? So, FALIA is an annual tax then amounting to 7 pesos. So, kapag gusto mong ma-exempt sa polo or polo is serbisyo, yung forced labor, magbayad ka ng FALIA. Okay? Bandala, on the other hand, is an indirect tax imposed naman on the Filipino farmers who were required to sell their products to the government. Usually, tawag dito, nalulugi yung mga Filipino farmers kasi parang minsan hindi sila nababayaran ng bandala. Okay? Hindi na tawag dito, I mean, sobrang nagbabayad sila ng bandala yung pinaka-tax, pero hindi sila nababayaran ng gobyerno doon sa mga produktong kanilang pinaproduce. Kaya yun yung isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit nag-aklas yung mga Pilipino noon, no, against the friars, against the government, no? Servicio manual is a book with instructions. It's just a manual, para siyang, manual of instructions na usually ginagamit sa mga, ngayon, in the modern context, yung mga, excuse me, appliances and whatnot. Okay? Polo is serbisyo, of course, nabanggit na natin to earlier, the forced labor done by native and Chinese male mestizos, 16 to 60 years old for 40 days. Okay? Para may-exam ka dito, kailangan ka magbayad ng FALIA. Okay? Next question, it was a series of deadly plagues that hit Europe between 1347 and 1351, killing millions of people. Okay? A, fox skin, B, stone skin, C, T virus, D, the Black Death. Ano yung deadly plague na yan? Okay? Of course, this particular pandemic, no, is actually known as the Black Death. No? So itong Black Death na to is also known as the pestilence, the great mortality, or simply the plague. Okay? Or plague, no, depende sa school ninyo. It is the most fatal pandemic, no, recorded in human history, causing the deaths of 75 to 200 million people. Okay, peaking in Europe from 1347 to 1351. Diba? Sobrang dami. Sobrang daming namatay, no? Around 75 to 200 million. So the outbreak was caused by a bacteria called Yersinia pestis, which lasted for about 4 years. Okay. So yung kung pag-uusapan naman natin yung COVID-19, mga ilang taon na siya. Of course, it was in December 2019, pero uh, mas naano siya natin in the early 2020, 'di ba? So 2021, 22, so almost 2 years na siya. In the context of the Philippines, during the declaration of the Luzon-wide Enhanced Community Quarantine in March 16, 2020, 2022, 2 years na. Okay? 2 and ilang March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 2 years and 7 months na. So hopefully ay mag-end na tong pandemic na to so that we can go back to the new normal. Okay? Alright, so baka lang no na ilabas ay itong mga term na to sa inyong board exam. This is part of the contemporary issues in the contemporary world. Epidemic no is an unexpected increase in the number of disease cases in a specific geographical area. So pag sobrang tawag dito, tumaas yung kaso no sa specific area, we call it epidemic. It doesn't necessarily have to be contagious. Kagaya ng mga cholera, polio, malaria, yan, mga epidemic. While pandemic is when a disease's growth is exponential, yung hindi mo na siya, tawag dito, mapigilan, nag-skyrocket na siya. Each day, cases grow more than the day prior. So, mabilis yung pagdami or dami ng mga kaso, no? It affects several countries and populations already. So, ito kanina, very specific area, epidemic. This one, it could cut across boundaries. It can go in the international borders. Kaya, COVID-19 is considered as a pandemic by the World Health Organization. Okay? Endemic naman on the other hand is when the disease is consistently present but limited to a particular region. So usually ito present siya no doon consistently, endemic siya, nandun siya sa area na yon, pero limitado lang doon sa particular region. Parang sa ecology when you say endemic naman, yung isang organism ay native in that particular area. So endemic in that area, ibig sabihin native. For example, tarsier is endemic in Bohol. Meaning that particular tarsier is limited or is a native in that particular area. So same concept no with the disease when we call it endemic. Outbreak halos pareho sa epidemic but often used for a more limited geographic area. So mas ano lang siya, very specific lang. Kumbaga, kung Pilipinas, for example, ang particular or Philippine region or Asian region, itong endemic, yung outbreak, for example, a certain country in that particular region, mas limitado lang siya. Okay? While pandemic, sobrang kalat na siya across countries, across or several population. An example of pandemic, of course, is the COVID-19 or the coronavirus disease 2019. Okay? So as of October 25, 2022, there are already 625 million confirmed cases. And out of these cases, sadly, there is 6.5 million deaths already. So compared dun sa kanina sa Black Death, medyo maliit pa 'to 'no, yung 6.5 million. Pero of course, napakalaking napakalaking, buhay 'no, napakaraming buhay yung nawala due to this, COVID-19. So 'pag tinanong sa board exam, saan ba yung origin 'no, ng COVID-19, saan na nga ulit? Sa Wuhan, China. So Wuhan, China. So basically, doon nag-originate yung, coronavirus na 'to na dati tinatawag natin siyang nCoV-19 bago siya ni-rename ng World Health Organization na COVID-19. Okay? So you are a member, another question, you're a member of cooperative which operates taxis, tricycles, and buses. Of which type of cooperative are you a member? A, service cooperative; B, multi-purpose cooperative; C, marketing cooperative; D, producers cooperative. Oh, what's the answer? Okay, so of course, when you are operating taxis, tricycles, and buses, you are actually doing service. No, you're part of a service cooperative. This is service in terms of transportation. Okay, ayan. And we're talking about cooperative. There is what we call the cooperative law or the Philippine Cooperative Code of 2008 or the Republic Act 9520. And the agency concerned to this is the Cooperative Development Authority or the CDA, which actually a proactive and responsibly government agency for the promotion of sustained growth and full development of the Philippines cooperatives. Yung mga kooperatiba, kahit malalaki, medium, or maliliit na kooperatiba, example, mga kooperatiba ng mga tsuper, kooperatiba ng mga magsasaka, kooperatiba ng mga for example, ng mga guro, no? So marami, no? So basically, this is regulated by the Cooperative Development Authority or CDA as per Republic Act 95. Alright? So next question, who was the world's oldest and longest serving head of state? A. Robert Mugabe; B. Queen Elizabeth II; C. Beji Caid Essebsi; D. Abdul Halim of Kedah. So pag nakita world's oldest and longest serving head of state, walang iba yan kundi si Queen Elizabeth II. So minsan ang tanong sa board exam, longest serving monarch. Okay, so that is Queen Elizabeth II. Sobrang tagal na namuno as a head of state and as a monarch. Okay? So ayan. So Queen Elizabeth II, her reign of 17 years and 214 days was the longest of any British monarch and the longest verified reign of any female monarch in history. So basically, she holds this title. And as you all know, namatay siya this 2020, recently. Okay? So, in connection to that, this question, who is referred to as the Virgin Queen? Yan, natanong na rin to sa board exam. A. Queen Elizabeth I, B. Queen Elizabeth II, C. Queen Cleopatra VII, or letter D. Queen Valoria. So what is the answer? Anong sagot? Okay, anong sagot? Future LPTs, of course, that is Queen Elizabeth I. So pag nakita nyo sa board exam, Virgin Queen, that is Queen Elizabeth I. Okay? So famously, Elizabeth I lived and died as a virgin queen or resistant to being married off and obviously childless. So who is the virgin? Okay, so yun. Okay. And of course, I think this is the last question for this episode. Who was the second editor of La Solidaridad with the pen name Dolores Manapat? So pag hindi mo alam yung, hindi mo kilala si Dolores Manapat, dun tayo sa second editor of La Solidaridad. At nag-discuss natin yan earlier. Of course, that is, yes, that's correct, Marcelo H. Del Pilar. So Marcelo H. Del Pilar served as the second editor of La Solidaridad with the pen name Dolores Manapat or sometimes famous din na tinatayang sa board exam, yung pen name niyang Claridel. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung pen names ng iba sa mga choices natin. Of course, Graciana Lopez Haina, Diego Lara. So, pag nakita sa board exam, Diego Lara, kaninong pen name yon? That is Graciana Lopez Haina. Kay Jose Rizal, kay Dr. Jose Rizal, Dimas Alang or Dimas Alang, and Laong Laan. So pag nakita sino sa Laong Laan, that's Jose Rizal, sino sa Dimas Alang or Dimas Alang, that is also Jose Rizal. Okay? While Mariano Ponce has several pen names, Nani, si Nani, siya si Ponce yon. Tekbalang si Mariano Ponce pa rin yan, at si Kalipolaco. So these are all pen names of Mariano Ponce. So pag tinanong lahat ng mga sumusunod ay mga pen names ni Maria Ponce, Maria tuloy. Mariano Ponce, liban sa isa, so alam niya. Okay, so Nani, Tikbalang Kalipolako sa kanya lahat. Okay? Alright, okay. Sabi ko last question na yon, no? So basically, yun na yung ating mga questions included in this episode. And before I leave, no, I'd like to share with you this very motivating quote. No? Sabi, anyone can learn anything. Don't limit yourself and don't let others limit you. So, marami tayong resources, no, na pwedeng ma-reach, makuha, mabasa, no. So, you maximize all these resources, but make sure these are credible resources. And don't let others limit you in your preparation, in your review. Don't be affected if uh there are external forces na minsan nagde-demotivate sa atin, but never mind them. You have to focus on your goal, and your goal is to pass and even top the board examination come March 2023. So maaga tayong naghahanda, no? So I commit to upload more in the coming days, no? Hopefully ay ma-regular natin yung uploading ng ating mga review videos, no? This is my commitment to help you in your preparation for the March 2023 using the enhanced table of specification. So every time that we will have a review, I will be pointing out anong focus ng review natin base sa TOS na inilabas ng PRC, no? Professional Regulation Commission. Alright, so thank you so much, and sa mga hindi pa po nakakapag-subscribe sa ating channel, Teacher Dan Rugayan, don't forget to hit the subscribe button para updated po kayo sa mga upcoming videos natin in terms of your preparation for your licensure examination for professional. Maraming salamat, and maaga, no, maaga tayo na mag-review, maghanda, dahil kung gusto talaga natin pumasa at gusto talaga natin maging top notcher, we have to exert, no, a lot of effort, and of course, start early para hindi tayo nagka-cram at nag-rush, no? Yung parang mag-marathon na naman tayo ng mga videos. Okay? So, if you have questions, if you have something to tell me, okay, you just comment down below sa ating video para at least malaman ko. And then, if you have requests, for example, kung may mga request kayong areas based on the enhanced LEPT, i-comment nyo lang dyan para at least nakikita ko at nababasa ko. Alright, so maraming salamat, no? I'll end here. Thank you so much till our next review session.